So at Golden Deeps Limited, we've got a dual exploration focus on world-class terrains in the Lachlan Fold Belt, the Copper Gold Province of New South Wales in Australia, as well as the Atavi Mountainland Copper, Lead, Zinc and Vanadium District in Namibia. In New South Wales, we've got a potential new copper, zinc and gold discovery in the eastern part of the Lachlan Fold Belt. We've identified a large geochemical and geophysical footprint. We've got multiple porphyry volcanics hosted sulfide targets, and we've got diamond drilling in progress. We haven't released any results of that drilling as yet, but we're testing under greater than 1% copper with zinc and gold anomalies and multiple geophysical targets. So we've basically got the mineralisation outcropping at surface, and we can see in the geophysics that we're onto something pretty big. In the Atavi Mountain Belt of Namibia, we've got advanced resource and new discovery projects with previous high-grade production of vanadium, copper, lead, zinc and silver and other things, just about everything in the periodic table, including antimony Nev. Abanab mine, previously the highest grade vanadium producer in the world. We've got near-term potential there for vanadium plus lead, zinc and copper production in concentrate. At Nosib, we've got a copper, vanadium, lead, silver discovery, again with near-term production potential of that vanadium-rich mineral, but also deeper, thick strata-bound copper silver sulfide mineralisation, which is over 40 metres thick, and we've only tested it down to about 100 metres. At Kusub Springs, a very rich historical mine, 300,000 tonnes of 10% copper and 584 grams per tonne silver produced, and we've identified extensions at depth of diamond drilling. Again, we're only just getting onto that, and we've got more work to do. So Golden Deep's a number of advanced critical elements projects. We've identified mineralisation in world-class terrains, and all that trading within a less than $4 million cash backing. So we're really there's no value ascribed to all these wonderful projects. Next slide, please. So this is our New South Wales project. We've got a major tenement holding across the Rockley Goolgong Belt, which is the eastern of 4 volcanic belts in New South Wales. All of the others host world-class deposits, and the geology of our belt doesn't look any different. It's just a little bit less exposed. That eastern picture, the right-hand side picture shows our extensive geochemical anomalies over a 2 kilometre by 2 kilometre area with plus 1% copper rock chips and zinc and gold, big geophysical footprint, IP anomalies, magnetic features and so forth. We're drilling right into the guts of those outcropping zones as we speak, with results to come. We've also got other targets we're developing on that property. We've got a big new joint venture area to the north and south, and we've got high-grade gold targets at our Tuckers Hill project to the west, which are along strike from the Hill End gold field, which has produced 2 million ounces historically. Next slide, please. So quick snapshot again of the projects in Namibia. This really is world-class terrain. The Tsumeb mine historically produced 30 million tonnes at 4.3% copper, 10% lead, 3.5% zinc. We've got the same geology. I mentioned Abanab. We've been able to show that we've got the potential to produce a 15% vanadium, 11% zinc, 38% lead concentrate. So much higher grade concentrate that can be produced from other vanadium projects. Nosib, I mentioned before, we've got the vanadium mineralisation with the copper, lead and silver at near surface. So that can be coupled with Abanab for near-term production, but also extensions of depth. We've already got a resource of over 3 million tonnes at about 1.1% V2O5 equivalent. Then we've got, in addition to Nosib, the Kusub Springs copper silver with antimony discovery that we've got extensions at depth there. So we're really only just scratching the surface in terms of our near-term production potential. We've got longer-term potential to really grow a major sulfide resource as well as the near-term production. Thank you very much.
John, great presentation. I might kick off, and for those listening, please use your Q&A if you've got any questions for John or any other of the panelists. I mean, you're currently trading below cash backing, so your market cap is lower than your cash on hand with a portfolio of assets, and you're drilling. I mean, why do you think the market is just not reflecting the value in a stock?
Essentially, we've spent a lot of time setting up these projects, and it's only now, for instance, in the Lachlan Fold Belt project that we're actually drilling it. So I think the upside is now going to come through into the company. We haven't been all that upset about that. We've just been getting on with our work. but now the drills are rolling and we're drilling into mineralized structures. So we've done a bit of that previously in Namibia, and there's been a bit of a break in that work as well, but that'll pretty well roll straight on after this initial phase of work in the LFB. So essentially, we've drifted like everybody else, but the good thing is we've still got cash in the bank and the drills are rolling.
Very good. And probably one more question for me before we jump into our next presenter is, you talked about antimony. What's the significance of it all? I mean, obviously, China's just recently banned the metal from exports. I mean, the price of some of the stocks have really picked up. Is it a phenomenal or is it here to stay?
I think with a number of these types of elements, and we've got quite a few of them in our projects in Namibia, we saw the same thing with germanium and gallium, and we've got some of that. Antimony is another one. So I think one of the beauties of a project like the ones we've got in Namibia is that they're truly polymetallic, and so you can virtually just about find everything. So whether there's a shortage or whether there's market fundamentals that stick around in these commodities, we don't really mind, because we've got all sorts of things that we can produce from these types of systems.
Thanks, John. Sorry, Niv. Any of our investors have any questions? We've got another couple of minutes before we move on to the next one.
I'll jump into the question there, Niv. G'day, John. Look, I thought, obviously you're focusing at the moment on New South Wales. Just interested to know, you've gone straight to diamond drilling, which is great. You obviously got the permits to drill. Any previous drill results on these targets? Not
in the target areas that we've defined. There was a little bit of drilling under some workings on the eastern side of that project. There's an old gold mine there. One of the interesting things about this part of the world is that the exploration hasn't really gone much beyond, stream sediment sampling and a bit of regional geophysics. So it's quite remarkable how these targets that we've defined are essentially outcropping chalcopyrite in some cases. So no drilling into the targets that we're working on, and they're sticking out of the ground. Quite remarkable.
Hmm.
I had a question there, John. You've been exploring and running programs in some pretty interesting places around the world. From memory, can you give us a flavour of what it's like and the jurisdiction in Namibia, and how you're getting on there and who you use and that type of thing?
So Namibia is actually a really good good jurisdiction. Everything's fairly stable. It's out in the middle of the desert. Oh, it's not quite desert where we are, but it might as well be. There's quite a bit of infrastructure, believe it or not, good roads and power. And it's a place where mining's been done before, and the prospects for employment are very welcome. There's other mines in the area as well. And it's quite cheap to operate. I reckon drilling costs are probably 50% of what they are in Australia, and permitting is very straightforward for exploration. So it's, people describe it as Africa for beginners, but I think it's actually got some advantages over operating in Australia these days, particularly compared to somewhere like central New South Wales or central Victoria, for instance.
Hi, John. Just a quick query, really. You've got a pretty broad portfolio right across the spectrum there. Very broad, I would have thought. But, from an optionality perspective, I guess that's good. At this part of the cycle, are you seeing any interest in potential farming deals across some of those assets to both speed up and to get some certainty rather than sort of do them all in series?
I think,
you're going to need more money, right? $4 million won't get across that portfolio very far.
Well, I think the way I've tended to approach exploration and discovery in the past is to zero in as much as possible using the geophysics and geochemistry, etc., and our understanding of the geology before we drill the discovery hole. So this program in New South Wales is 4 holes, and I've been associated with other discoveries where, there's a lot of money spent after the discovery, but to get there can be done fairly efficiently, and that's why we're doing diamond drilling as well. Now, I think there will be some interest if we can get onto something in that stuff in New South Wales. There's other companies obviously hunting around like Alkane and others. So I would expect some expressions of interest if we can hit what we expect to hit in those structures. Namibia is probably a little bit of another case, although there are operators there, such as a Chinese group that's taken on the Tsumeb smelter that might be interested in partnerships where, you know, they had put money in and we'd keep exploring. So we're always open to those sort of things. But, you know, the biggest problem which I expect to have is that we'll have too many ore bodies to explore and we'll have to share the risk.
A nice problem to have.